Hey Tarot friends, it's Jade here. Welcome back to my channel for another deck walkthrough. Today we're going to be looking at the Wildwood Tarot by Mark Ryan and John Matthews with the artwork by Will Worthington. I don't have the box anymore. I threw it out a long time ago. Frankly, I thought I had done a walkthrough, but apparently I did not. It comes with a pretty substantial book, 160 pages. I really love Will Worthington's art, and I like this deck as soon as I found out about it and did a little bit of research on it. Was one that was a no-brainer for me. I love decks that are earthy and about nature and whatnot. So that was a no-brainer for me. I really need to pull this out again. I had pulled it out to use for the summer and I haven't used it yet. So I haven't used it yet this summer, but I need to because I really love this deck. So in terms of the book, it takes you through Return to the Green, the Wildwood Song, Part 1, Into the Green, Part 2, The Path Through the Forest, so the major arcana, the minors, what else? All the suits, finding your way, and working with the cards. So it's quite a preface. There's quite a bit. I thought there was, I might be getting confused with the Druidcraft, but no, it is here. Okay. There's the wheel. It does follow the wheel of the year, so the suits are slightly different, and we'll go through that. So in terms of the meanings, you get a black and white illustration, the position on the wheel of the year, the description, the meaning of the cards, and then some reading points. It's down here. Roots and branches, I think that is just the keywords. For the minor arcana, you get one full page for each card. Okay. It does look like there are a couple of spreads, and they actually give you some sample readings, which is great. Yeah, so there's a copy of the spread. They give you some readings to sort of help you walk through it, which I thought was, when I first got this and I didn't know very much about tarot, I thought that was awesome because I could do the reading myself. I would actually pull the same cards that they did and then do my interpretation and then be able to compare to see, where I was on point, where I was not, and where they said things that I hadn't seen before. I was able to go back and really analyze why that was. So that was really useful. So I keep that deck in this pouch that I made. His little birdies. Tweet. And this one I had leftover fabric. I don't like wasting things, so it has these beautiful flowers on one side and then some greenery on the other. Love it. All right, so let's have a look at the cards. So I did, oops. Oh, I tweaked my back and it's killing me. I did modify this deck way back once. Let me see if there's an image. So this is what the cards would have looked like with the borders, with the title on the bottom. And I trimmed it. So the backs now look like this. So when I trimmed it, it wasn't, because of how the things were lined up, you can see that there's that thin white line, and you can see that the border on the bottom is below that line is quite a bit higher than at the top. Nothing I could do about that. That's just how the cards came out. It doesn't really bother me because I don't read with the backs. But even if I did, I mean, at least it's consistent throughout the deck, so that's fine. And then I also edged it in green and brown. Hopefully that's coming out okay. So what I did was I took the borders off the top and each side. The Wanderer. So the names are different. The Ancestor. The Ace of Arrows. Arrows are equivalent to swords. I don't know what happened on that card. There's some ink or something staining. 3 of arrows. Yep, 3 of swords. 4 of arrows. Rest. 6 of arrows. I really need to start using this deck again. Oh, does that happen to you guys? Like, do you stop, I guess it's a function of just having so many decks now. Because I am a deck harlot, let's be honest. I just love them so much. But, a deck will be put aside for a while. And then once in a while I'll pull it out to do something like this, deck walkthrough, and I'm all of a sudden all about that deck again. Yes, Page of Arrows. Sorry, I'll try not to cover the titles. I love that this is mostly, there's very few people in this deck. King of Vessels. So vessels would be the equivalent of cups. Two of Bows. So bows are fire or wands. And stones are earth, or coins or pentacles. 20, the Great Bear, that would be Judgment. 15, the Guardian. Page of Vessels. Oops, put that on backwards. Number 8, the Stag. Number 1, the Shaman. 17, the Pole Star. Now, a lot of people, I'm not pagan, but I love this deck so much anyway. A lot of people use this. A lot of people who resonate with this deck are pagan and they follow the Wheel of the Year. I don't really follow the Wheel of the Year, at least not in any religious sense. But that doesn't mean that I don't resonate with this deck anyway, and I do study it anyway with respect to the wheel, because I find that the more knowledge I have about everything, the better my readings are. The more I get out of my readings, the more in depth they become, and the better the reading for me. So I will never stop learning. Oh my God, if money was not an issue, I would be a perpetual student. Like a perpetual student, a perpetual apprentice. I just want to be an expert in all the things. I love this. So this is the 4 of Stones, or 4 of Coins, 4 of Pentacles. So in the traditional RWS deck, what is the 4 of Coins or 4 of Pentacles? It is it looks like a King Midas, or a king who's like clutching his coins to his chest. He's being a greedy little bugger. Whereas this, the 4 stones are protection, right? Protection from the sun, protection from the elements, protection from predators. So it's a nuance I love. I never actually saw the 4 of Pentacles in general as greediness in every situation. You know, it really depends. I do often see it as taking care of your health, taking care of your money, your financial security. Doesn't have to be always negative. Although anything taken to extremes can be, right? Those 9 of stones, the forest lovers. Oh, I love that. The sun of life, the ace of vessels, the water of life. 14, balance. That would be temperance. Beautiful. There's a face down here. Ace of bows. So I find that interesting because bows are, say, the equivalent of wands, right? So fire, and then arrows is actually a suit as well. So the suit of arrows is air, or swords, the mental piece, right? So for me, what this is kind of telling me, so is that, you know, the just looking, oh, the arrow is actually in the fire. This is kind of what this says to me, is that, you know, you're using your passion, your inner fire, your inner drive to drive that determination, the mental stamina, right? So they work together. I find it very cool that they've got 2 of the suits in the 1 card, and it happens to be the ace. I find they work really well. Is the archer. So that would be the chariot. Ace of vessels, salmon. That's very apropos too, with the salmons being able to swim against the flow of the water. The 8 of vessels, rebirth. So again, it's a different take on the 8 of cups, right? So where the 8 of cups in the RWS deck is typically either, I mean, obviously not in every case, but the majority, you know, the typically what you hear and read and see in the 8 of cups can either be something like walking away from it all, taking the higher ground, you know, retreating so that you can rest and reflect and then come back stronger, or choosing to abandon something. And this is actually filling the big cup, which is then filling the small cups, which is then flowing into the river of life. So it is a different, and it's, you know, it's birthing something new, something bigger. I mean, I guess at the end of the day, it can be a full extension of the Eight of Cups, but it's a different, that's one of the things that I love about decks like this, that where the authors really know their stuff and strut it out for us. So that is the Wildwood Tarot. The cardstock is it's pretty solid. Like it's not thick, but it's very it is sturdy. Is this a Llewellyn deck? I don't know. It says Sterling Ethos. I don't know if it's distributed by Llewellyn. Like I said, I got rid of the box ages ago. But if it is, this is the older cardstock that was a bit thicker. It can be riffle shuffled, no problem. And I really love this deck. It fits nicely in my hands now. It's not a huge stretch to use, which is great. And yeah, so that is the Wildwood Tarot. Let me know if you have this, if you use this, when you use this. Do you follow the Wheel of the Year? I'd be curious in knowing how you use this. I know that there is a Wildwood study group. Wildwood study group is not quite the right word, but I guess kind of on Facebook and on Instagram as well. I learned about it too late to take part, but I think you could still go back and learn and go through the exercises. They go through this this deck in pretty significant detail. So one of these days I will try to do that, because I would love to connect a little bit more with this deck. So anyway, so that is the Wildwood Tarot. I hope you enjoyed. Before you leave, please do hit the like and subscribe button. It would help a lot. And until next time, my friends, be safe.